Hi, my name is Frøydis and this is almost everything I knit during my first year of knitting, which was 2022, and I want to talk about it. I started knitting in November of 2021, so I'm going to count that into 2022. The very first thing I ever made was this cowl, just very simple. It taught me how to do short rows. I have some holes. I've never actually worn it, mostly because I forgot I made it. This is a free pattern, by the way, from Drops design. I have no idea which one. The next thing I made, my first sweater. This is the Novice sweater from PetiteKnit. If you've never made a sweater before, if you're a real beginner, I really recommend this pattern. It's amazing for someone who really doesn't know what they're doing. The pattern is explained in a very, very beginner-friendly way. I'm so glad I chose this as my first jumper because it really built my confidence as a knitter. I made this in Rauma Vams. I've worn this a lot. The next thing I made in December that year was this, my first Fabel Knitwear pattern. It's the Ithilien vest. I knit this in Fabel Knitwear's Athena and silk mohair held together. Also really simple, really quick knit. It has gold stellina in it, so it's a bit sparkly. I really like it, but I've never worn it. But I will wear it in the future. We are now in January, a year ago. This is the Eowyn Blouse from Fabel Knitwear. It's probably one of my most favorite designs I've tried last year. I think the square neckline is really nice and flattering. I like the little puffed sleeves. This was my first go at the raglan. I don't think my raglan stitches are great, but I can live with it. And I also made it a lot longer than it's supposed to be. It's supposed to end maybe around your natural waist or something, at least a lot shorter than this. This is Fabel Knitwear's Athena again. It's a hand-dyed yarn. I think it's beautiful. I love the color. I could spend the rest of my life in this color. This is the Paysanne blouse, also from Fabel Knitwear. It's knit in Merino Tweed from Pickles, which is a Norwegian yarn brand. It has poofy sleeves and it's just all my history-bounding cottagecore dreams come alive. But despite that, I haven't worn it that much, only a couple of times. And again, it's the problem of not having the right thing that goes with it, or anything really that goes with it. But that's a problem you can solve. I see myself wearing this as I frolic across a meadow into the sunset or something. Another Eowyn jumper sweater blouse, Eowyn Blouse. And I forgot to mention on the previous one that it comes in a long sleeve and a short sleeved version. I've only made long sleeved, but I definitely plan to make short sleeved as well. This is knit in Sommerull from Pickles again, which is a 50-50 merino cotton blend. Really great for Norwegian summers. This version is a little bit shorter than the previous incarnation, more close to how it's supposed to be. So this is my second raglan. Let me just scooch a bit closer. Yeah, I think it looks better than the previous Eowyn blouse. We are now in March, by the way. Next up is this Pixie hood from, you guessed it, Fabel Knitwear. Okay, so this vintage-inspired hood is knit in Rauma Plum, which is a mohair held with one of the thinner Rauma yarns. When I made this, I still hadn't really understood the importance of gauge, and I was still purling in a way that created really loose purl stitches compared to my knit stitches. So the fabric is just really loose and saggy, so it has this pointed pixie thing, which tends to just sort of droop and disappear. I would like it if it was a bit more, you know, pointy. Had I knit it at the correct gauge, it probably would have a little bit more structure to it. Is it I-cord strings? I didn't fasten them very well, so that's why they look weird here. I've never actually worn this. I only wore it once to take pictures of it, and I've never worn it again, which is such a shame. I think it's a really cute design. It can take you from medieval peasant to stylish late 40s person. The thing is, because the fabric is so loose and weird, it doesn't have much warmth and there's no wind protection in it, which isn't really to be expected anyway, but I really need wind protection. So I'm considering maybe lining it with a wool fabric somehow. I've never done that before, but it should be possible. But there's also the issue of what kind of jackets I have and what it goes with. Kind of a difficult thing to wear, unfortunately, but I think it's a really cute design and I want to wear it in the future. We have arrived at my first pair of socks. This is the Sunday sock from PetiteKnit. It's made in a yarn from Hillesvåg called Fjell. I probably shouldn't show it to you too up and close because it's not very clean. So these are really great beginner socks, really beginner friendly. Very happy with these socks, except that I didn't understand gauge at all. Although these were supposed to be a size 37 or 38, they're more like a size 40 maybe. At least they're much too big for me, but I do wear them in boots. That works for me. So I do use them quite a lot. Knitting these socks gave me my first real knitting injury, which was horrible. It was so painful. This would be a recurring problem throughout the year, as it would turn out. But I got through it with the help of therapists and stuff. I enjoyed making socks a lot more than I thought I would. A good choice for your first pair. I very much intend to make more socks, including more of these. Just in the right size. This is the Diagon Alley jumper from Fabel Knitwear. I'm beginning to sense a theme here. I had to knit this jumper twice because the first time around, again, didn't understand gauge at all. So instead of, I think it's 18 stitches per 10 centimeters, I had maybe 20. And when a garment has negative ease, that really matters. I tried to stretch it out, but I really the only thing I achieved by doing that was to ruin the elasticity of the yarn. I used a new ball of yarn for the first part, and then the rest is knit in the frogged yarn. And you can really see where one ends and the other begins, because the old yarn is a bit wonky. So that's kind of a shame. The yarn is from Pickles. It's called Mjuk Merino, which means soft merino. It's non-superwash. I thought it would grow in the machine when I washed it. It didn't, but more on that later. And also I'm really not happy with my raglan stitches, and also there's something wrong. I have some really weirdly loose stitches here. It's annoying. I guess I could fix that. I should have done a more stretchy bind off because this is kind of difficult and uncomfortable to get over my head. I made it quite a bit longer, believe it or not, than intended. I think it's supposed to end maybe here. I'm not sure. But yeah, I made it longer. I somehow haven't used it all that much. I don't know why, really. I guess it's, again, the problem of not having anything that really goes with it. These pants are okay with it, I think. But these pants are brand new, so I haven't really had a chance to test my knitwear with them. Anyway, I would like to make many more of these. I love the vintage look of it. Would definitely knit again. March was a frustrating knitting month for me because the next one is, I don't know how to pronounce this, Ginevra tea. I'm probably butchering that, I'm very sorry. This is also a pattern from Fabel Knitwear. And I have two, and this is has been a long and frustrating journey, which still isn't completed. None of these are wearable, which is so annoying. I've frogged and re-knitted this one twice, this one once. So I made this garment, what's that, 5 times? I don't know how to count. Many times. Too many times. It's all about gauge issues. I didn't understand anything about... I didn't understand that the technique you use influences gauge, the types of needles you use can influence gauge. This one is also way too small. I really hate picking up stitches. I find it so hard to get it right. As you can see, it doesn't look very nice. My gauge is okay, I think, in some places, and just ridiculously tight here. It's been a source of major frustration. The yarn is from Pickles. It's Økologisk Bomull, which is organic cotton. I have no problems with the yarn, it's just the problem is entirely me. But now that I'm older and wiser and more experienced, I hope to be able to re-knit both of them and get it right once and for all. And now we... Hi Findus! Hei! Hei! Har du vært ute? Hi! He just wants to be held a little bit. Yeah. This is of course not knitwear friendly. Okay. I tried to say where were we, but that's a phrase I'm never using again. And now for my second pair of socks. These are the everyday socks from PetiteKnit. I just improvised the stripes. The stripes don't really match, but I don't care. I managed to not ruin my back or arms or just limbs in general when knitting these, thankfully. A really unexpected thing I learned from doing this is that the material of your needles will influence your gauge, at least when you're knitting on really tiny needles. These are knit on, I think it's 2.5 millimeters. This sock was knit on bamboo needles and is true to size. But then I broke one of the needles and I had to knit the other one on aluminum or metal needles. And this one is bigger, like noticeably bigger, because the gauge is looser. So I do wear them. It's not that bad, but it was kind of a moment for me. I will definitely keep making these. This is the next one. I was so proud of this one. This is my very first color work. It's Arboreal. The sign is called Arboreal. It's by Jennifer Steingass or Steingass. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. She has a lot of really beautiful colorwork designs, and this one was very beginner friendly. It's knit in Drops Charisma, which is a superwash yarn. No issues with the yarn, very happy with it. I feel like it retains its shape. I like how it's like the subtle shaping, waist shaping, just very, very subtle. It taught me about dominant yarn or yarn domination. No, this doesn't sound right. The way you hold your yarn will influence which color pops more. And the recommendation is to make sure the contrasting color is the dominant color so that it pops more. This is just a matter of how you hold the yarn on your fingers or in your hands. This is mentioned in the pattern, but I didn't get it, so I didn't understand it, so I ignored it. This row of leaves are knit with the brown, the main color as the dominant color, and the contrasting color as the non-dominant color. And the bottom row, it's the opposite. The contrasting color is the dominant one, and the brown is in the background. I actually think the top one, the one that is wrong, is the best one because the leaves are much clearer. Down here I find that you can't really see the details of the leaves as good or as well. It was a bit of an aha moment for me to see just how much it matters where you put your yarn on your finger. I've been practically living in it for a few months now. This is my third and final Eowyn blouse. It's knit in Rauma 2-tråds gammelserie. It's pretty sturdy, pretty itchy. This is very much an itchy yarn, I would say, but I like rustic yarns, so I don't mind. And I do plan to wear something underneath it. If I were to wear this directly on my skin, I would go for superwash or just merino. There's something slightly wonky about this part and this part because I messed up the puff sleeves somehow. It annoys me, but I don't think I will do anything about it. I'll just ignore it. We are now in May, and I made this. This is My Little Secret Crop by Jessie Maed Designs. It's knit in Fabel Knitwear Athena again, held double, which just seems so over the top. I feel like this yarn is way too fancy to be held double. But anyway, it's a perfectly fine top. I've worn this a lot. Of course, it's 100% wool, which may sound like a terrible choice for summer wear, but Norway isn't that warm. Norwegian summers are normally quite chilly. I think I would make this again. It's just that ribbing, I hate all over ribbing. I've come to realize I really, really hate doing all over ribbing. I love wearing it, but doing it, not so much. This is also a Jessie Maed design. It's the very V-neck raglan. It's felted, but it still fits. It's actually not that bad. I knit this in Pickles Mjuk Merino, same as the purple one for the Diagon jumper. The weird thing is that when I made that jumper, it didn't grow or shrink or anything in the washing machine. But when I knit this one, first time I washed it, it grew enormously. The sleeves were maybe this much too long. I couldn't wear it. Even though it's not superwash merino, I took my chances and tried to wash it a little bit more brutally on an extended spin cycle. I don't really know how to explain it. I did Google it, I did ask for advice. I knew I was taking chances. I didn't have enough yarn to make a swatch and wash that instead. So I did, and it felted. But I can still wear it. The sleeves are a little bit short, but I could try to soak it in conditioner and stretch it that way. Not that way, but that way. The mossy green color goes really well with the mossy texture of felted wool, so I don't really mind. Also makes it very warm. So all in all, it was kind of a happy accident. I do find it kind of mysterious that the yarn, when I knit this jumper, it didn't do anything in the washing machine. It looked just the same when it came out. But when I knit this in the exact same yarn, just a different color, it grew so much. And I don't know if it's because this one was a bigger sweater, so there was more weight that could pull it in the washing machine. It's a mystery. I've accepted it. Still in June. This next top is Agathe from Vitre Design. It's knit in, let's see, cotton merino from Hobby. Superwash, I think, which is a very good thing when you intend to wear it directly on your skin. I've worn this a bit, but not as much as I thought I would, because... And this is a kind of a weird thing about the design, I'm sorry to say. It's knit bottom up, and the pattern has you just going straight into stockinette. So there's just this regular stockinette edge. There's no ribbing, there's no special cast on, so that means that the bottom edge just curls up. I tried to press it down after washing it. I don't know, the edge doesn't look good to me. So I really regret not starting off with a small rib. I should have known that this would be a problem. When I wear it, I want to tuck it into something. I don't want it hanging freely because I don't think it looks any good, unfortunately. I don't think I would make this again, but Vitre has a lot of really, really lovely designs that I would much rather try the next time. We're still in June, by the way. This next one is a fail, unfortunately. This is Ithilien tee from Skein Knits. I knit it in rainbow cotton from Hobby, and it grew so much in the washing machine. So much. It was terrible. This is after I tried to shrink it by sending it through this the longest spin cycle on 60 degrees. I just tried to beat it back into shape, but didn't work. Definitely intend to make this again in a different kind of yarn. I'm also not super happy with the stitches. It was my first time doing this illusion of a satin sleeve, and I don't love how it turned out. I really like the edge here. I don't know what that's called, but I think it's a really lovely detail. I will definitely make this again, but in a different yarn. Okay, here is Summer Secret Crop. I've never worn this because the fabric I made is just too see-through. I'm not comfortable wearing it at all. So I will frog this and possibly reknit it with a different yarn or hold it double or something. We are currently in July. This is another Vitre design. This is the Olden Top Light. It's made in Sandnes line. Lovely design, very happy with it at first, and then it grew. So this is very much a yarn issue. I also wish I made it a little bit longer, but this time I did add a small ribbing at the bottom hem, so it behaves very nicely. I think it's a very flattering, maybe I should hold it like this. It's a very flattering v-neck and kind of a plunging in the back as well. But the yarn grew so much while I was wearing it, and I'm just not comfortable wearing it anymore because I feel a bit shall we say, overexposed in it. I will definitely make this again, just in a different yarn or at a tighter gauge or something. Some kind of adjustment. After all those plant fibers, I was kind of desperate to make something woolen, except this is alpaca. Plant fibers can be hard on your limbs, so this was such a comfortable knit in comparison. This is the Warm Betty jakke, Warm Betty cardi, I think it's called, from Pickles. And the yarn is Cozy from Pickles, which is a blow yarn, an alpaca blow yarn. Kind of bulky, very soft, very comfy. It's too small. The sleeves are too short, which is super annoying. When I try to button the top button, it doesn't look good. It's too tight up here, I can feel it. It's too tight on my throat, I can really feel it. It's not comfortable. I should frog it. If it fit me better, I would wear it a lot. This is another my little secret crop by Jessie Maed Designs. This is knit in cotton merino from Hobby again. Don't really have any complaints about this. I think it's still a bit cropped, but with a skirt it's fine. I don't think I've used this at all, but that's not because of the garment, that's just because of the weather we had last summer. It was rather cold and chilly and not really this kind of weather. So yeah, I didn't wear it, but I will wear it next summer, I hope. We have entered August, and this is my second Diagon Alley jumper from Fabel Knitwear. It's knit in Fabel Knitwear's yarn called Elder, which is amazing. I think it's a merino. Pretty sure it's a merino. It's probably a merino, but it's not superwash. It's a little bit short on the sleeves. The length of the body is fine. It's really just the sleeves, but because it's knit from the bottom up, it's not so easy to elongate the sleeves. So I don't know what to do. I do have enough yarn to make it longer. I could just frog it and re-knit it. Although it pains me. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably make more Diagon Alley jumpers in the future. I think it's a very nice design. Happy with this one, except for the sleeve length. We have another Paysanne blouse. This is from Fabel Knitwear. I really love her designs. And there's so many of them, and I want to make all of them. Okay, let's see. So it's, yeah, I mean, you've already seen this design, but I like this even better than the first one, because the color is more me. Like the other one, this one is knit in Pickles Merino Tweed, and it just, the yarn is, it's a bit tricky to knit with. Some parts are really thick and fluffy, others are really thin and weird. But when you wash it, it kind of blooms and evens out a bit more, and it just, I love the texture it gives. I finished this one in September. I started it in August, finished it in September, and I've only worn it once, but that's, you know, that's just a seasonal thing. It's just the perfect cottagecore top. So after the felting fiasco slash happy accident I had with the Jessie Maed Designs very v-neck raglan, I made another one, and this time it didn't felt. This is, the yarn is Highland wool from Hobby, and it behaved very nicely. I've worn this so much. It's one of my go-to sweaters. I added some waist shaping. I don't remember if that's a part of the original pattern or if it's an alteration I made. But that's what I did in any case. Yeah, super happy about this. I don't know if I will make more. I'll probably make more, but it's just you have to pick up stitches all the way around the neckline. I'm not looking forward to it, but I will do it again. I most likely will do it again. This is the Astara sweater by Tanya Barley. It's also knit in Highland wool from Hobby, and I'm very pleased with it. I did struggle a bit to make it. This colorwork yoke was a bit too tight, so there was a lot of puckering going on, and I had to move the stitches around in the back. I turned it inside out, and then I would just meticulously pull yarn through every stitch to give them more ease, which was, it was worth it, but it wasn't, I don't want to do it again. But it really helped to solve a lot of the issues, because it was kind of tight over the shoulders, and then the rest is very loose. I'm very happy with it. This is the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Maed Designs. It's knit in Drops Soft Tweed, which is a non-superwash yarn made of 75% wool and 25% viscose, which is I think they call it a semi-synthetic fiber because it's industrially made, but it's made from cellulose, so trees. It's not plastic. The texture of the yarn as I was knitting it up, it felt almost papery. It didn't actually feel like paper, but there was a certain papery quality to it, so you could really feel the cellulose. And I wasn't really sold on how I would feel about wearing something like that. But then I washed it in the machine, and it sort of fluffed up, and it became much softer, and now it has a slight halo to it. I really like it. I could have gone down a few sizes. I knit this at the recommended size for my measurements, but it has so much positive ease, almost a bit much, I think, at least for me. The design states that you could safely go down as much as 2 sizes for a more snug fit. And next time, because I'm pretty sure I will make more of this one, next time I will definitely go down maybe 2 sizes. I've been wearing it all the time. This is the final garment I have. This is Stonewood sweater from Skeiner Knits. It's knit in Rauma Vams. The intended gauge is 14 for this design, and in order to obtain the right gauge in the colorwork, I have to go up a few needle sizes to a size that would just be uncomfortable. So after some failed attempts, I decided to recalculate the gauge to 16. So I did some knitting math. Incorrect knitting math. And I thought I had to go up 3 sizes. So I did. And maybe this would have worked out a lot better had I actually knit it on a gauge of 16. Instead I knit it at 15. And either way, I didn't have to go up 3 sizes. This is still 2 sizes too big for me. I'll put it on and I'll show you the main problem I have with what I've done. I messed it up and I have to re-knit the body. This design is supposed to have 0 ease, or just hover around 0 ease, and this is this design is supposed to have 0 ease, so it's supposed to be a fairly snug fit. This is not that. What I made is something that has a lot of volume here in the yoke. I mean, this is a lot of volume and plenty of ease. And then the body, I did the instructions for the waist shaping, and I probably messed it up somehow because it's so much tighter than the yoke. It looks really weird. So I have a snug fit here on the body and a lot of excess volume here in the yoke. And it just looks so weird the way it folds, sort of folds over the tighter part. It doesn't look good. It's not supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be snug all the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna frog parts of the body and just knit it straight instead. And hopefully it will be a bit more balanced, and it will just have to be a stone wood with a lot of positive ease. Once I've fixed the body, I will be wearing this a lot, and I probably will make more because it's hard to find colorwork yokes for bulky yarn. At least I've had trouble finding that in a design that appeals to me. So I really like it. I probably will make more of it, and I probably will mess around with the gauge again. After all that knitting, what did I learn? Because hopefully I learned something, right? I did. The main thing is that I need to get much better at checking how the garments fit me as I go. Especially because I'm pretty sure I'm not measuring my knits correctly. I think that when I'm laying it flat to measure it, I'm slightly pulling on it, making the fabric longer than it really is. So that's definitely something I have to change. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I do intend to make more videos in the future, more knitting videos, sewing videos, maybe some other things, we'll see. Until then, I wish you still a happy new year, and I will see you soon.